And we are live again, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to talk about the reason why so many agents are going out of business. I've heard some shocking stats recently. We've all heard the 70% of agents didn't close a single deal in 2024. I was talking to a mortgage broker who saved a deal several weeks ago, who's kind of a high level performer, teaches other mortgage brokers. And for the state of Colorado specifically, he was stating that 94% of agents haven't closed a single deal in 2025 so far. So if you're a part of the 70% or the 94%, you're going to want to pay attention here, because we're not just going to go over shock and awe and why it's so bad to be an agent right now, but what you can actually do about it to get ahead, because there's still a lot of deals closing, a lot of, that are under contract, and you're either a part of it or you're not. So let's talk about why, how you can be a part of the top performing agents out there. But first,
Yeah.
Eric, good to see you again. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome, Alex.
Sweet.
I think to put some context on what you just said about the
Yeah.
Colorado market, which I know a lot of people listening to this are not in the Colorado market. Other markets are similar, but Colorado, 44,000 agents in the state, or at least who knows how many of those have already thrown in the towel, because we
Yeah.
renew every 3 years, right? But currently 44,000 agents. And we had 17,000 deals closing a year just like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we have 10,000. So 44,000 agents, 10,000 deals. I mean, do the math on that. Like if it was
Wow.
spread evenly, 1 out of 4 agents would be closing one deal. But we all know it's not spread evenly.
Holy cow. And, I think, overall, without, because all you can do is speculate as to why some people are closing deals and other people aren't, right? We know what top performers are doing. But if you had to guess, Eric, like, I mean, if you were a painter, right? If you were a contractor and there were 10,000 jobs to be had for the entire year, like the disparity would not be, oh, there's one job for every 10 contractors, right? Like that's not how most industries shake out. Why do you think real estate is so extreme?
I think because real estate is a bunch of independent contractors with a low barrier to entry. So you've got a lot of people that didn't do a whole lot to get in, like a week worth of education and pass some tests.
Yep.
And it attracts a lot of people that are after the easy money, and then they get in. And while, in my opinion, real estate is a lot easier money than going to get a day job, it's still not easy. It's just
Yeah.
easier. And if you're not going to do the work and you've got no one, you know, on your ass to make sure you're doing it, most people fail.
Yeah, it's tough. When I started, working from home years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, not just for myself, I was still working with another startup company. I struggled with the how to get yourself motivated in the morning, and like you can wake up in your PJs and you can go to work, right? Like, and some people just cannot function at that level. And I remember talking to a coworker, and he'd worked for himself a lot. And he's like, you know what you need to do is you need to get up, you need to get dressed, you need to put your suit and tie on, and you need to get out of the house and go grab coffee and then come back and start work. So that way you're not caught doing laundry. It's like the separation of time. And when left to our own devices, I mean, just before this show, talking about, you meeting with some other contractors and understanding the what when people think they're actually busy versus when they're actually busy. I mean, I've seen you managing 12, 13 projects at a time,
Mm.
right? And I remember years ago I asked you, and I thought you were nuts. Like what project management software you used, and you said nothing. And you
None,
said it
none.
was up in here. I was like, oh my God, you're out of your freaking mind running multiple crews. And so we're going to talk about that. Like what a schedule should look like, because if you're not on a schedule, like, and left to your own devices, man, you're just floundering around. But yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the barrier of entry, if it costs you $2,500 to get your license, and it's going to cost you 25 grand to sell your house on just one side of the transaction. Let's say you got $1 million home, and let's say you already just work part time. Like, I got my license in 2 weeks, you
Yeah.
know? Like, background check and all, fingerprints, that whole spiel. I didn't know how the hell to do my job. Um, and so coming out of the business, like, we haven't built ourselves up to, like, run a brokerage that's like, who teaching agents how to do a job. But when you started doing this business, were you helping other people, Eric? Or were you just working for yourself?
When I started Denver Property Flip,
Yeah, when you started being an agent, right? And even maybe even before Denver Property Flip, potentially before you
yeah,
had your real estate license.
when I started being an agent, I was on my own for myself from like the start. It was unique because the first 2 years I had my license, I was just buying properties for myself,
Yeah.
like rental properties. So I wasn't actually being an agent. I was just agenting for myself. So I got through those first 2 years. In Colorado, you have to have your license under somebody for 2 years. I did that not as a real agent. And then I was like, well, hey, I don't even have to give a cut to anybody if I just go get my own license.
Yeah.
So then I went independent, still only for myself. But back to like staying busy, I think the best way to solve this, like so that you have a fire under your ass at all times, is if you have paid advertising turned on and is bringing in leads, and you make a pact with yourself that you are never turning that off, like the lead generation
Mm,
engine, unless you go on vacation. It has to be like, all right, I'm going on
yeah.
vacation this week, right? Now I turn it off, something like that. But other
Yeah.
than that, you turn that sucker on and you don't touch it. So now money's flying out the door, your money, your hard-earned money, and
Yeah.
leads are coming in, and you have no option but to swim, because otherwise you're gonna sink,
Yeah.
and you don't touch it.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a great little hack to keep yourself busy. I know I fall into that trap. I turn off my ads every few months or so until I got a bunch of deals cooking and going and all that stuff. And then I ride a little bit of the roller coaster, right? So yeah, I would say if you're starting off, oh yeah, for sure. That's a great way to kind of avoid the 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 motivation, demotivation train. Um,
Yeah, and when you were referring back to when I had like 20 houses going at once, or renovations that we were doing deals on, that was that exact concept, but like taking a step further. I would never turn the leads off, and I was giving leads to 3 different guys. So I couldn't even turn off the ability to close them
yeah.
because I wasn't the guy closing them. And there was just no stopping that train. Like you're just coming at you like a fire hose.
Yeah.
And hell, you just no, there's no other option. So you do it.
You sink or swim,
Mhm.
literally. Right?
Yes.
It's like being in retail, man. I loved working in retail at Christmas time, dude. Like the day just flew by. Now, granted, that was before kids, that was before family. And so, like, you could work a 12-hour day and you were making money and you were, yeah, this is freaking awesome. And you were just kind of in the flow. And when you are in the flow, better things will happen, right? It's like
Mhm.
being in the zone as an athlete. And we're gonna go over some things, actionable things that you guys can actually do to really up your game because we know a lot of agents are struggling right now. And it's hard to get out of that mindset. And I mean, we've had the conversations with each other, right? Over the last year and a half of like, hey man, I feel like every time we talk, we're just freaking down in the dumps. Like we're still doing deals, we're still doing business, but like we got to get out of this like negative chatter constantly because it invades every part of your life and then it creates problems and you have all these stupid conversations in your head that will not ever come true and happen and it just creates this wheel of horribleness but it takes a lot to get out of so hopefully some of this structure will help you guys. But as always, if you got any questions, feel free, drop them in the chat. If you're watching this afterwards, feel free to leave a comment. We will absolutely get to it. And as always, in the description below, you can get our weekly email. We try to actually provide value. And if you don't know who we are, my name is Alex Saldana. I've been a licensed agent since 2010. I didn't start working with traditional clients until like 2015, 2016, just flipping my own properties. And then I started working with Eric, working a lot more on the listing side, working with some buyers sprinkled in there. And we're in the trenches. We are doing deals every single day. And so we just like to share what we find, what's working. All right. So, real estate survival crisis. And I would say it's a crisis. Like if you've been talking to agents, you know right now that people are struggling. And I really don't think that by the time we're done with this, 50% of all the licensed agents come this next year. I think we're going to see the numbers update. And here's why. As license renewal is a 3-year deal. Okay. And so a lot of licenses are coming up for renewal since the downturn started after 2022, right? In 2025. Mortgage licenses are every 1 year. And so it's a lot more updated numbers. We are already down 90% of active mortgage lenders slash brokers in the country. We've gone from about 650,000 down to about 50,000. Okay. I think real estate is the same trend. I just don't think we've seen the updated numbers.
And home renovation will be along that line too. Contractors, carpenter, not as drastic, but
Yeah,
definitely going to
totally.
be
I think
going
we
down.
forget sometimes how many businesses are linked directly to real estate transactions. And if one transaction happens, right, you got a buy side and a sell side, right? So you have two agents in the deal. You most likely have a lender in the deal. You have an appraiser in the deal. You have a home inspector in the deal, and oftentimes 2 or 3 inspectors for sewer scopes, radons, a general home inspection. You might have a staging company. You might have a photography company. Maybe you have a separate video company. And then you have all the contractors that go along with either A, prepping the house, or when someone moves in, hiring them to do work like painting, bathrooms, kitchens, stuff like that. So when transactions are down 50+%, everybody else falls in line with what's going on. Uh, so the best thing we can do to help all our friends out in contracting world is just keep going and close more deals. So there's a reality check. We've already gone over these numbers, but I don't think this is a market problem. We are down 50% in transactions the last couple of years, but I do believe this is a business execution problem more so than just there being enough business for everybody. No, it's no longer easy. Nothing is right now. Transactions are taking twice as much energy, if not 4 times as much energy. There's half as much business to go around, but there are still deals happening every single day, right? So you're either a part of them or you're not. So how can you
I
be
think
part of
another way to say this is the real estate industry is in the greatest depression of like all time, like the Great Depression, just from our industry.
Yeah.
But it's like little league. Like we're not a high level thing. It's little league. You can walk. Your competition is fragile. Your competition sucks. So yes, we are in a huge like recession. But all you have to do is up your game a little bit and just walk all over your competition. Like to be in the top like 5% and survive is not that high of a bar compared to other industries.
That is the best thing I will hear all week. It is so friggin' true. I mean, I've tried to launch a team in the past, and what I found with my direct contact with agents that I knew that I thought were on a good trajectory, I was generating leads for them. I had the CRM fully set up. I had follow-up plans fully set up. All they had to do was pick up the phone when it said to pick up the phone and talk to people. And dude,
That's
they
too
didn't.
far.
Like they didn't. There was no buy-in, right? There was no. I was appalled. Like, what are you doing today? Like, you've gotten 15 leads this week, and you've only called one of them within 5 minutes of getting it in. Like, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, the bar is not that high.
Right.
All right. So why do most agents fail? No clear value proposition. Okay. Most people out there already think all we do is open doors. So if I had to ask you, Eric, you got someone in the elevator, right? They roughly know you, and they go, "Hey, Eric, I'm needing to sell my house. Why would I hire you over this big ass team down the way that sold 400 properties this year? Like, what is your value proposition to somebody?"
Well, besides the fact that I've been doing this for 2 decades and have done more transactions and have been in every situation you could ever think of to help get to the finish line, I also am a licensed contractor and I have my own crews. So if you work with me, I'll make sure you get the most money by selling your house for the best value. Maybe I renovate your kitchens and bathrooms for you with my own crews and my own money, and you pay me back at closing. Where you use the realtor next door, you're just going to get at best whatever it's currently worth. I'm going to get you what it's potentially worth.
Yep. Good. I mean, that's a good one. You'll if you use the realtor across the street, you'll get what it's worth. I'll get you what it's potentially worth. That's a good line.
Yes.
I like that. Um, and then on inspection, right? You have a list of 12 different things that come up, right? From door issues to window issues to, furnace issues to stuff like that. I know I've sent you lists of things in the past and I'm like, "Hey buddy, what can we do to take care of it?" Like I'm not making 20 phone calls to figure
No.
out drywall patching, window issues, this, that. It's like a list to you and it's done. Like, dude, that is freaking amazing. I'm going through that right now up in the mountains, and it's a challenge just getting contractors to show up.
Well, in that pitch I just said, any agent can use that same pitch. Just remove the part where you say you're a licensed contractor. But like you
Yeah,
can say, hey, I'll get your house what it's potentially worth by renovating it with my crews and my money. And that doesn't mean they literally work for you. Just go sub it out. You're going to be a broker.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yep. So you got to have your clear value proposition. Communication breakdown. Right? We covered this a little bit, but I'm amazed that I if if someone was getting into real estate today, Eric, let's say your nephew came to you, right? 25 years old, young, full of piss and vinegar. It was like, dude, I want to get into real estate. I want to be an agent. This looks friggin' awesome. What would you tell him the job is? Like, if you had to describe
Hmm.
it in a couple of sentences, what is it to be a real estate agent?
You're going to help navigate buyers and sellers through a high stakes transaction that has a lot of things that could go wrong to help one side of the party, or one party or the other, get to the finish line.
Yeah.
It's
And
all about relationships
yeah,
with those
it's all
people
about communicating with
and then a
people.
little knowledge. Yeah.
That's what our job is. And if you don't think you're a good communicator and you're not willing to work on it, you should not be a real estate agent. Just forget it. Like it's not going to happen. You are not going to be successful whatsoever. And it should come in all forms. I mean, the weakness in communication from agents is appalling, even with agents who have been doing this their entire life, quite literally. I deal with them all the time, and I can't believe some of their communication that they have with me when I'm bringing them like a buyer right now, when buyers are more scarce than sellers. And yeah, so if you're not great at communicating, you should work on it. And there's plenty of courses you can take to get there. Um, this one is probably the most important one that we see agents struggling with, which is no scalable lead generation, right? When money gets tight, people resort back to time and check and sweat equity versus check equity. I totally get it. We all kind of ebb and flow on what we need to do. But if you don't have a scalable lead gen, you will never get past 5 to 10 deals a year. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Now, if you don't have scalable lead gen, everything else depends on it. That's the foundation. Step one, get your ad set up and have leads coming in every single day because you're dead in the water without that. Everything else builds on that. So
Yep.
check that box.
So, what, in your opinion, is not scalable lead gen? Let's start there.
I think going to like group meetups and there's a lot of agents that will subscribe to like you need to have a ton of friends, so join all these groups or start groups and have these circles of people. I do think that worked when we had low interest rates and a lot of people were buying and selling. So if you knew 100 people, the odds that one of them were going to buy or sell a house like we're fairly good. That doesn't work anymore because now, rates are high. Everyone has locked in low interest rates as the time of this recording, right? So people are not selling. The odds that one of those 100 people are going to buy or sell is extremely low.
Yeah.
So since you can't just blanketly meet a bunch of people, like, that's not scalable. You need to pinpoint the people that are going to buy or sell and go after those people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the rules used to be what it was like people bought and sold on the average like 5 to 7 years, and now it's
Yeah.
like north of 12 years or something.
Mhm.
So if you're in a room with 100 people, like there might only be one seller this next year
If
in
you're
that room of
lucky.
100 people,
Yeah.
right? Like, and the chances of you getting to them and not having like 4 agents in their family is super low. I mean, 1% of the population in the Denver metro area has their real estate license. Like, if you
Yeah.
were to take a train, there's at least 2 or 3 or 4 other real estate agents on that train with you. Like, it's appalling. Um, so, all right. So, what else is not scalable in your opinion? So, meetups and all that stuff, God,
Oh,
you could waste your time going to meetups and classes and all that stuff. And I will say, I did a lot of it, and I had to really pull back and really analyze it because at the end of the day, I wasn't getting a lick of business out of it. Like,
no.
not a single bit. I was getting my brokerage firm business by having them like tell me to talk to new agents that were thinking about joining. And I think back and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, okay, I was being nice and like it was fun talking to people and all that. And you feel like you're important. So like that resulted in zero business, but it
Yeah.
resulted in meetings, 2 meetings a week with other agents. The fuck was I doing? Like, why? Um,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So another one, it's a much better form of lead gen, but not scalable. So if we're just talking about this is effective, but not scalable. But calling expired listings, cold calling them. You
Yep.
can only make so many calls in a day. Very unscalable. As soon as you have some work going, your time to make those cold calls is diminished,
Yeah.
which is gonna, give you this kind of cycle where you have a deal, or you
Yep.
finished it, no deal. Right.
Yep. And I will say, if you're newer, I think it absolutely has to be a part of the equation. I think you have to get beat up. I think you have to get told no a million times. I think you need to track the numbers. I think you need to talk to people, period. Whether or not they want to buy or sell, you will get better at your skill set. But yeah, I don't cold call. I haven't in years. Because I can't anymore. I got 4 or 5 under contract. I've got several more coming to the market, a couple buyers I'm working with, and like I don't, okay, I shouldn't say that. I have an hour a day where I could cold call, but then I've got all the follow up from it too, right?
Right.
That you would have to do. And if you drop the ball there, you're wasting all your time. So it's just no longer a part of our mix. At least my mix right now. And
I'm
yeah,
going to reference something we're going to get to later right here
yeah,
because we just brought it up. I think there is a great way to cold call, but
okay,
we're going to talk about it when we get to the AI part.
okay, sweet. All right, hobby mindset. Mindset is huge in this industry, and treating your real estate business like a hobby is a surefire way to just be just decimated. It's either a business or it's not, period. And then tracking your business metrics, maybe the weakest point for any agent I've ever met. If we went out and asked 1,000 agents right now, Eric, what their cost of acquisition is on a deal, how many do you think would be able to answer that with an educated answer?
How many people?
Yeah. Out of a
How
thousand.
many? A
1,000 agents.
thousand? Like two, maybe.
Yeah.
One of them's you.
Yeah. It's not an exaggeration. If you don't know what your cost of acquisition is and what your business metrics are, like I can tell you how many meetings it takes for me to close a deal. I can tell you how much each phone call is worth that I make, every meeting that I have, how much that's worth at the end of the day based on how much I do. Like these are important things. My contact rate, how many calls do I make and how many people do I talk to out of that? And it's a little in the weeds, right? Not everybody has to have that sort of detailed metrics, but you need to know how many attempts you're making, how many people you're actually talking to, because everything else is it's just a numbers game. If you want to sign 20 deals, I know I'm going to have about 55 to 60 meetings for the year, which means I know I'm going to have 450 new leads for that year. Uh, and it's all just going to scale like that, right? So yeah, going back to the hobby mindset and no business metrics, like if you're not treating it like a business, again, it's you're not going to be successful. All right, what top performers do differently. So before we get out of this, is there anything else looming, Eric, that you see that agents just do that is just killing their business?
I think it's more about what agents don't do. But yeah, and the biggest one is they don't have a paid ad lead generation that's predictable on bringing
Yeah,
in leads. That's
predictable, right?
yeah,
So
not
you're
having
talking
that.
like Zillow and Realtor.com. That's like $400 a lead, right? No, no, we're joking, ladies and gentlemen. Those guys got you hook, line, and sinker in their business model. I just actually read an article this morning in preparation for this that the new metrics on through all lead sources, and I don't know how they get this number. They probably make it up. The conversion rate is 0.2%.
Hmm.
So if you could imagine being a Zillow lead person getter, I don't know what their cost per lead is in the different markets, but I know it's not cheap. But at a 0.2 conversion rate, like, I mean, I know we're blowing that out of the water, but we're going straight to the sources, right? We're not buying them from other lead providers. That's pretty astounding, but I guess it kind of makes sense with what, we're currently seeing in the market a little bit. If you were to make the same leads that we generate 4 times crappier because they're being sold to 8 different people at the same time, yeah, I can see how 0.2 shakes out as a
Yeah.
conversion rate.
People use the word lead way too loosely. That's the
Yeah,
problem too.
you're right.
Just because you bought a list of people that like are likely to sell because of some stats that you come up with, that doesn't mean you have any lead. There's no leads. There's not a single lead on that. A lead
Yeah,
is, in my opinion, somebody that's raised their hand and said, like, I want an offer from you, or
correct.
I want to talk to you about selling my house.
Yep, 100%. I want to continue the conversation in some way, shape, or form based on something else that has happened.
Yeah.
That's a lead.
Yes.
All right. So what are top performers doing differently? They know what their unique value proposition is. They know the niche that they're serving. Eric, what is your niche in the real estate market?
Fix and list deals. My niche is that I can renovate your house and sell it. So I'm a contractor and an agent. That's my niche.
Who is your most like who is the person that is most likely to work with you?
It's somebody who's had a life circumstance where they have to get rid of their house because the equity that like their biggest pot of money is in that house. And so the only way they're going to get it is to sell the house and get it. And sometimes they need the money fast, like now, like next week, and sometimes they have some time. But in either case, I help people get their equity out of their house and maximize that equity. So it could be divorce, maybe you lost your job, a multitude of different situations, but you need to get your equity out.
Okay. And that you should know your niche, right? If it's move up buyers, if it's young, recently married couples with a kid on the way, retired couples, relocation buyers, motivated sellers, you know, downsizing sellers. You should know what your niche is, and your marketing should speak to that. All right, top performance. They know how to communicate. Okay, video, big thing. In person, written communication across all channels. We're talking email. We're talking text messages. You have a way about you that is good at communicating. You don't drop the ball, and you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. Period. Like, I've worked with a few agents over the years that I would love, that I would be happy to have them sell my house and pay them to sell my house, right? Because I know they're top tier and they are going to do the best that they can do. And a lot of it does come down to communication. Whether or not they have all the answers doesn't matter, right? But they'll figure it out. Systems. And this is a thing. Every agent struggles with this because it's so easy to get bogged down in all the systems. So when we talk systems, we're talking kind of an integrated approach to figuring out where your paid lead gen is going, your time lead gen, meaning cold calling, things like that, networking events, manual follow up, social media, CRM nurture sequences, retargeting ads. You're talking the whole thing if you had to do a tech stack, right? And so if I were to ask you, Eric, what does your systems look like for our team for running our business?
It all revolves around a high level setup that has automation, follow up, and a system to manage leads. And then I personally use I have my own systems to create, the ads, to put on Facebook, to run Google, and so there's this internal systems to generate the content and the things, the tools needed to bring in leads, and then there's high level at the heart of it to manage those leads.
Yep. So go high level is the CRM. And so that's everything. I mean, that would be any lead that comes in from cold calling is there. The manual follow-up is guided through go high level. Social
Well,
media you
high
can run.
high level is nothing special either, too. It's just like a blank slate, right? What's the magic comes in the way that we have high level set up,
Yep.
not in actual, like, you can't just go get a high level account and be like, oh, there's my tech stack backbone. Like, no, 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 no.
No.
You got something that's highly customizable that just now needs customized.
Yeah. It is your business, right? The CRM is your business. If there was anything else you get out of this, if you don't have a CRM, you don't have a business, period. Uh, and so you need to be ingrained in it. It needs to be up on your screen 100% of the time. Everything you do, everybody you talk to needs to be in the system, and a follow-up step needs to be in place so you know what to do. Because right now, maybe you're only working with 50 to 100 people that you've talked to and whatever. But what's that? That's at 1,000. What about that person that reached out 2 years ago, right? You just had it from your weekly email. He popped up again, Vance. I thought I met with him about a year ago. He's on my weekly email too, but he reached out. I'm pretty sure based on yours again because you probably scared him, and it brought him back up to the surface. I thought I met with him about a year ago. It's actually been over 2 years since I met with him because time starts to fly, and he's one of the 6,000 leads in my system. Um, and so just based on our systems, not based, I didn't call him every month for the last 24 months. He pokes his head up again and is like, you know what? Where are we at now, numbers wise?
Yeah.
Right?
Now he's ready.
There's another $15,000 payday.
And to drive this home, I have this iPad mini that the only purpose for this is just to always have high level like open all the time. So it's
Pull
got
that
the
thing up again.
stand like this
Yeah.
here, right? And it just sits on my desk all the time with high level open for the only purpose of communicating with leads. Like, stop what I'm doing. I don't need a special tab on my computer or my phone. Like, it's just dedicated only for high level, because you're right, it's the heart of everything. If you don't work your leads, then you're not going to have business.
Yep, totally. All right, and then operate like business owners, right? They take it seriously. They take vacations. They time block. They track their KPIs. They have budgets, and they schedule their lives out like they're running an operation. All right, big piece. AI, if you're not a part of it, it is leaving you in the dust. So everything that you're seeing right now, ladies and gentlemen, this whole presentation, I probably spent 15 to 20 minutes on it, to be fair, right? It wasn't 2 minutes. It wasn't 3 minutes, because I had to research and make sure what it was saying was accurate. But I got an outline from ChatGPT for what we wanted to go over today. I gave it a few prompts. It had some good information. And then I went through and put it onto Gamma to make it into a better presentation. And I started finding this tool out uh, because part of my YouTube channel, I want to have downloadable PDFs for people. And if you've ever created, buyer handouts, seller, handouts and stuff like that, it's a rabbit hole and it's easy to spend 4, 6, 8 hours on one of them to not even know if someone's going to get value out of it. So forget a lot of the time waste. And you need to be, ChatGPT is up on my screen all the time now. It's my CRM and ChatGPT. And I use it in every imaginable way, even and especially lately, I've had a lot of sticky communication. And so when I have an agent on the listing side, perfect example, who is just everything's a freaking battle. You ever work with those agents where you're like, why? Where you've had to call them out and be like, yo, dude, hey, all right, listen up for a second. I have a buyer, you have a seller. My buyer wants to buy, your seller wants to sell. We're close on numbers here. Like, can we put the thing together? Or you've already put it together and now there's still friction. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why are you so aggressive on everything? Is everything a negotiation to you? Like every time you pick up the phone? Or are we going to be able to put this aside and try to get this transaction to the closing table? And I've had several of those lately where you're like, what are we doing? And so I actually use ChatGPT to help me in my communication with these crazy listing agents and buyers agents who think it's the end of the world or something. Maybe they're having a bad day, but it removes a lot of the emotion from my communication, and it helps an awful lot. And I know we'll get into you, Eric. You use AI more than most in different ways. So we are for sure going to get into that. But if you're not using it, long and short is you are being outfaced. I will run circles around you. Eric will run circles around you. That's it. All right. What are your favorite AI tools, Eric?
So I use either Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok 4, depending on whatever the best one is at the time. So they keep coming out with new models, right? So those are good for general knowledge and like writing emails, researching things, like just everyday kind of use. Like you were talking about with like, hey, I need help. Like, what's the best way to answer this email or this text with this dickhead agent? Like that. Those models are good for that. I love Descript, which is a software that uses AI for part of making it as an agent today. I think is having weekly YouTube videos and put them out every single week to stay top of mind. It also gives you an excuse to email everybody on your list, like all your past leads. You're like, hey, here's my latest video. So maybe you can form more of a relationship with those people. But doing weekly YouTube videos, I mean, you could spend 16 hours a week on that. Like it.
Oh yeah,
it's hard, right? If you don't use AI, and there's several AI tools that are helpful with it, but the one that really takes the most out, like that does all the editing like almost perfect for you, is Descript. So I love that one.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, it's becoming my filter for just about everything, from these weekly calls to my YouTube videos to my weekly emails for you guys out there, for my weekly emails for my database. And yes, you do have to. It's great for ideas. Don't rely on it 100%. But I would bet it probably saves me in the tune of 20 to 30 hours a week currently. Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I'm working 10 to 20 hours a week. I'm still working 50. Like I'm not a 100 hour week agent. Like I don't know many agents that actually are. The only people I know that work that many hours are like chefs. But I know you've had several weeks, Eric, where I've talked to you, and it's very clear you're in that range.
It depends on the week.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to get on it, and you got to get really learning, what to use. Just pay for ChatGPT, $25 a month, $20 a month, whatever the hell it is. Like you need to do it. All right. And then, yeah. Okay. What else can we say about AI? It's so necessary. It's not even funny. Get out. If you got any questions on that, again, get in our weekly email list in the description below. And we'll turn you on to what we're doing. I mean, just talk about the ads that we run, actually, Eric. Let's tie that in for a second because, you
Yeah.
know, it's been a long road of us creating ads, Eric more so. And it takes a lot of time and effort and energy and scripting and scenes and stuff. And so, what are you doing lately? How much is AI a part of the ads that you're currently running?
Massive part, right? So I create the creative idea. I'll use like a chat GPT to brainstorm with. Like you just talk back and forth to chat GPT of like, what about this idea? What about that idea? They'll
Yep.
help give you a creative idea for your ad. And then I'll use Veo 3 to uh, make the individual scenes up to 7 seconds long, which it'll create anything your imagination can dream up. Like you can have a 7 second scene of something that would take like $1 million to produce in a movie like a year ago. You can have that done in 10 seconds for $150 a month subscription fee. So
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
about to be $250 a month, but uh, that's a little more technical. I'd say most agents don't need to know how to do that. In fact, you'd be way better off just paying $97 and getting our uh, proven Facebook ads course. I'll make 4 or 5 ads and maybe 3 of them are performing well. Well, I
Yep.
put those in the group course for the paid members to have lifetime access to, and I keep updating them with what works. But Google
Yep.
Veo 3 is a big piece of it. And then something I haven't proved out yet. I'm just starting to do, but I think this is a good thing to just throw out there so agents can wrap their mind around where things are going. Right. So
Yep.
I think this is going to be the future. I've bought lists. Oh, I bought a list of people I thought were really good, leads. This is the kind of leads that are not leads. Like I
Yeah.
bought a list from PropStream, cheap, got my list out of it. It's like, here's my 250 people I think would be great sellers. So they have high equity, they're older, likely to move, financial problems, all that kind of thing. All right. So now I have this and I skip trace their information. Well, in the past, that's common. People have been doing that for decades, right?
Yep.
And then you normally just send them mailers or cold call them, or mass text was the thing for a while. But that's not what I'm talking about doing. What I'm going to do is individually for each one of those 250 people, I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, research Missy Johnson at 123 Main Street, and I want you to come back and give me a letter that I can mail her that shows that I'm a complete expert in her neighborhood. I know all about her individually. I want you to like what she do for work, which like we're gonna stalk the shit out of this person and their house and give me the best letter you possibly could have for Missy Johnson. And by the way, also give me like 5 follow-up emails written for Missy Johnson and refer back to my website with testimonials and the testimonials and quote them and
Jeez.
links and give me the best follow-up system you could imagine. Pretty much chat GPT
For one person.
or one person, right? And what I'm having set up, like I'm almost done with it. I'm going to try to launch this. It's going to go through the 250 people and just one by one, like here, ChatGPT, research this person and come back and give me all the content to follow up with them. And then 10 minutes later, all right, now do this person. And every 10 minutes until we're done with all 250 people, I'm going to have ChatGPT research them and give me back the content to follow up. And then I use Go High Level to tie that back into other services to, all right, go send this letter. Here's the letter. It's all ready to go. Send it to Missy
Yeah.
Johnson. Send her this text message. Send her these emails. And now you can take a list of cold leads and at least make them lukewarm.
Yeah.
Right? And now all of a sudden, cold calling, which isn't so cold, can be a little more effective.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if you can tie that in, God. Could you take it one step further and do like the AI videos that all the faceless YouTube channels out there, let's say, where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, here's the information about your neighborhood. That's a prompted video that's just like stills of like their neighborhood, Google Maps and stuff like that. Of like, hey, just to let you know, in the last year, there's been, 150 homes sold, this many, and all the stats and stuff. And I know if you're thinking about selling, this is likely a good range. We can do A, B, and C. Like, you could probably take it very far down the rabbit hole with these
Yeah.
sellers.
This could be fun, but really freaking creepy. But you could even like have Google VEO3 make a video of that homeowner telling that homeowner,
Oh yeah, that'd be really creepy.
like talking to themselves about how you should hire Eric Young to be your realtor because he's
Oh
the
my
best.
god.
Hey, I have this video of your future self.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
no to
yeah,
that
no.
idea. Yes to everything else. All right. Um, getting on here. So if you're debating on, your brokerage or anything, just stop right now. This is getting back onto what successful agents are doing. Um, the best known
Oh,
agents
I gotta
beat the
stop
most
you right here,
experienced
Alex.
agents. Yeah.
We both know that the only reason you've ever closed any deal is because your brokerage is Denver Property Team, and everyone wants to work with my brokerage. You think they want to work with you?
Yeah. It's Compass, Keller Williams, Elite, all that junk. No one cares. No one hires a brokerage firm. I've never had anybody like hire or not hire me that I know of based on my brokerage firm, right?
I'm
Maybe
obviously
you get
being
into that.
very facetious. No one has ever worked with you because of the brokerage name.
Yeah, totally. Ryan Serhant, one of the top real estate agents in the world, one of the most known. What brokerage firm is he with? Because I don't know.
Who knows?
But it's Ryan Serhant, right? Um, Clients will Google you. So make sure you have your right presence. Make sure you're sending reviews, testimonials, collecting that information and making sure. If you were to Google me 10 years ago, the first page was filled up with a murderer in Texas that was a serial killer named Alex Saldana. That's all that came up when you Googled my name. And I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. And I will say that the images of him did not look terribly different from me in real life. So
Oh, that
like,
sucks,
you've
dude.
got to be kidding me.
I never knew this.
This is not happening. Yeah, you can find it, but it's on like page 3 or 4 now. So
Yeah.
I worked for years on blog posts, on videos, on everything to try to get rid of that information. I was filling out my profile on every agent site you could possibly have one on, Yelp, Homelight, all these weird ones that like no one ever knows about, just to try to get my name filling up the first page of Google searches. All right, systems. We've talked a little bit about this. You have to be able to draw in prospects through multiple channels, right? We're talking Facebook, we're talking Google, we're talking YouTube, we're talking uh, cold calling, we're talking postcards, we're talking networking events. You have to do it all. You have to be able to nurture people through your system that alleviates all the pressure on you. Number one thing I can say is do a weekly email. Period. Do a weekly email with a weekly video and send that out. You'll get a 30% open rate on average as long as you're providing value. And that will do more for you than all the conversations that you could possibly have to keep people, keep yourself top of mind with leads. Um, your systems have to be able to turn prospects into clients. Like, I mean, how many meetings are you setting right now, Eric, through our ads that are automated meetings that are set up? Like, if we had 100 leads come in the last month, how many of those leads have automatically set up a time to talk with you or anybody else on our team? Automatically.
About 30% are just automatically, like AI helps push that along. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So that way it alleviates the pressure up front. And it's, oh, I've got a conversation with Julie at 9:30 this morning. Friggin' awesome. Like,
Yeah. And Julie thinks she's been texting you for the last couple of days.
yep, totally. Like, this is just where you need to be. if you are not in this world, we are who you're competing with. Okay. Just remember that. Like, we are who you're competing with. So if you don't have any clients today, your only job is to get clients. That's it. If I had to describe what a real estate agent is, or a wholesaler is, or an investor is, it is someone who talks to people about convincing them to work with them. That's what it is. Even when you're seasoned, 50% of your business is trying to get new business. That's what it is. It's never 100% of your time is taken up with just current clients. Like, that's not a thing. So get that out of your head. It is about convincing people that you are worth it to work with, by having lots of conversations and providing a lot of value. Your calendar. All right. Schedule time. All right. I've never asked you this, Eric. What is your daily routine?
I wake up early and go to the gym right away. I used
What's
to.
early?
It depends on the season. So that's right now, early 6.
Okay.
When I get lax, 6:30 would be the latest. When it's more intense, it's 5. So
Okay.
it depends on the workload, right? Like when I say season, I don't mean like spring, summer, fall. I mean like how much work is happening, like how bad it is. So like this would be the slowest season of the whole year, and it'll start to pick up come like November, December, when people aren't working. That's when you should be working the hardest to fill your pipeline for January, February, March.
Yep.
But,
Okay.
yeah,
So you wake up early, you go to the gym first thing.
first thing.
Then what? What does your business look like? Maybe this involves getting kids ready too. Like, this is a part of our life, right? And if you work from home, you know that there's not like this set time where like you're leaving the house to go to work. Like, if something happens in the morning and my wife's got to go out, like all of a sudden I'm the one running the kids to school, right? So all right, keep going.
Yeah.
What does your day look
So
like?
somewhere between 7 and 8 a.m., I'm back from the gym, depending on how early I got up. So worst case scenario, 8 a.m. back at home from the
Yep.
gym. And I'm going to right away sit down at my computer and like catch up on emails that came in late the day before, look at what I got to do for the day, kind of prioritize my to-do list, like
Yep.
what has to happen. And then every day is completely different for the remainder of the day up till like, so right now it's golf season. I have 3 kids, right? So at 5 o'clock, I've got to pick up my younger son on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now from golf matches.
Yep.
That'll be over next week, but there's some level of helping with kid management with sports, like
Yep.
in the evening. And then I try to get another workout in, like cardio type working out in after the workday's over. Like it's got to be like 7, 8 p.m. so it doesn't like cut into productive time.
Yeah. Geez. Okay. So my day, if you guys care, I'm a little bit more on the agent side than Eric is because he's running the brokerage firm. Similar on wake up time about 5:30 in the morning. My dogs make sure I'm up. Yep, we go straight for a walk right away. I make sure the wife's ready to get out of the house because I don't know about you guys, but I have to have a quiet house. Like if my wife worked from home too, it would be a nightmare. I would probably have to have an office. It wouldn't be a nightmare. She's a lovely person, but she talks a lot. So it would be a nightmare. So get the kids out of the house, right, and come about. I'm working every day between 7 to 7:30. I am starting work, and that is email catch-ups, right, going through, figuring that out. But then every day I make a list, and I do my morning affirmations, right, which I learned from Ninja, which is this year. I am happy to be earning $835,000 or more per year. And that's my this year's morning affirmation. And then I separate it out. Clients, I don't know if you can see it. This is just every day written down. I still do handwritten, and it's separated. Clients are always the first thing. And then I go to like hot, warm prospects, follow ups, and then it's business things from there on out, whether that's marketing stuff, whether that's video stuff, or showings, things like that, listing appointments. I try to put that all in the early afternoon because I know those can take a day sideways really quickly. I generally only have 2 to 3 meetings a week and write one deal approximately every other week on that schedule. But yeah, it's clients because that's my next payday. And I know so many teachers teach you like prospecting is the biggest thing. Well, in our market, 30% of deals aren't getting to the closing table. So if I'm not focusing on my clients, then I still
Right.
don't have a friggin' payday. All I'm doing is spending to advertise someone's house.
Well,
Right.
and most people, their best, you're going to do your best work probably before like 1, 2 o'clock. And
Yep.
then from like 2 to 5, that's when you'll crash, so to speak. I just has to do with meals and
Yep.
time of day and all that. So it's probably smartest to take your highest paying things and do them
Knock
while
them
your
off first.
mind is the sharpest, right? And
Right? The stuff that
so,
might get contentious, right? You got a seller, you got inspection objections. And you know what? If that goes south and it really turns shitty, like, is as long as you're handling the most important things of your day, I can feel good at the end of the day. And so I knock those out first thing. So yeah, usually I spend 1 to 2 hours every morning between emails, current clients, and then 1 to 2 hours a day between prospecting, following up, and then a couple hours out of the day, thinking bigger, right? Thinking video work, thinking scripting, branding, stuff like that. That's going to snowball, right? Where YouTube is on its own deal. Like it's gotten to the point where it's working for me without me doing anything. I'm still getting, 40 hours of view time a day or something ridiculous because of that 1 to 2 hours a day of building it up over time. Um, and then, yeah, trying to keep any meetings like that and stuff in the afternoon because I know after a meeting, like I get kind of burned out. I am not an extrovert. I am not someone who can just talk all day. Like I have days where I joke and I say, I've used up all my words today, honey, and I will not talk the rest of the night because I'm capped out. Um, so that's what our schedules are looking like. And I would say we're both on the, successful end of things. It's very structured for the most part.
yep.
All right. 5-step survival plan. Here we go. Here's the wrap up. If you want to survive in this market, here's the 5 things that you need to do consistently to make it. Getting back to clarifying what your unique value proposition is and your niche. Know exactly who your best and ideal client is and cater all of your communication, all of your emails, all your videos, everything to those people. I know we want to appeal to everybody, but when you try to appeal to everybody, you appeal to no one. So be specific. Our marketing is all towards motivated sellers. Why? Because we're really good at solving problems with people in late stage. If someone calls you today and says, my house is going to go to auction in a week, what do I do? Can you answer that question? Because we can, and we know exactly what to do. And this is not a high stakes scenario for us. We know there's 2 or 3 things of pieces of information that we need to get to know how to solve their problem today. Right.
I do want to clarify, if you're running paid advertising, you may not want the message of why you're their best choice to be front and center, because if you're doing paid advertising to cold people to a landing page to convert them, you've got to think about what that person wants, put yourself in their shoes,
Yeah.
and tell them you're going to give them what they want at that stage in the game. Like, later they're going to, after they meet you and you can educate them more and start building a relationship, what they need is probably different than what they actually think they want at that point in time when they click on your ad and go to that page. So
Yep.
I wanted to clarify. It's
Yeah.
You don't
100%.
always want to tell them why you're their best choice in every scenario.
You have to solve their problem,
Yeah.
right? It's like being a fencing contractor and saying, I can build you the best fence in the world. When in reality, they need a fence to keep their dog in their yard. So if your marketing
Yeah.
says, I'm the best guy and the best option to keep your dog from escaping your yard, it's going to do better than just saying, hey, I'm the best fence builder in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if you're a home seller and you just want someone to buy your house, what you probably need is a realtor to get you on the MLS to attract the most set of eyeballs to find the highest paying buyer. But that's not what you think you need at that point in time. You might think you just want a cash offer from this mystical home buyer that's going to pay a lot of money that doesn't exist.
Yep, totally. So you got to refine your marketing. All right, you have to master video and written communication. Uh, this day and age in sales, I mean, again, I can go back to the Tom Ferry coaches, the Buffini coaches, and their like Ford system and calling people and da 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 talk. And I talk to people. Don't get me wrong, but I don't talk to as many people as you think I do. And actually, I'm going to share with you what my actual week looks like here. Okay. Um, so what you're seeing is how many phone calls I make in a month. Okay. So we're going to take January, for example. I made 178 phone calls. Let me zoom this in a little bit. I connected with 62. That was out of 32 new leads. I do track my YouTube videos that I put up there, my weekly emails, any video CMAs, my affirmations, which I've been slacking on lately, meetings set, meetings attended, contracts signed, and deals closed. This is every single month. And I can expand these to show you like June, right? I mean, we're looking at 6 phone calls, 4, 5, 2. Like I make a dozen phone calls a week, folks. And it's this idea of creating something that's bigger than yourself comes in the form of email and written communication that you can send to 1,000 people, 2,000, 5,000 people, and it comes in the way of video that can reach hundreds of thousands of people. The paid advertising is the same thing. How many people a month do our paid ads get in front of, Eric?
Impressions is not a stat I pay a whole lot of attention to. I look at cost per lead. So I'd
Okay.
need a sec to look that up, but likely, thousands.
Yeah, thousands of people. So unless you're talking to thousands of people, not knowing how to amplify your message and who you are is an absolute skill that you need, because this day and age, people don't want to talk to people, right? I could call 100 people and text 100 people. I'll get twice the response rate from texts as I will from the phone calls, right? So figure out how to master amplifying your message through video and written communication. Okay. Using AI, duh. You got to get into it. You have to get into it. Hook, line, and sinker. You have to figure out how to communicate with it. Use it as an assistant. You, if you are avoiding it, if you are resisting it, don't, because it is putting you out of business. Period. Omnipresent marketing. So going back to social media, retargeting ads, CRM nurture sequences to all amplify you. Right? I can close 25 deals this year, and we'll close well north of $10 million in sales this year and make 20 times less phone calls than the average agent, right? If not more. Fuck. There's agents making 500 plus phone calls a day to be able to talk to 10 to 15 people a day and still won't write as much business as I do. And I'm not saying that to like toot my own horn or anything like that, but the people that reach out to me, whether that's through paid ads, through my personal advertising, whatever it is because of how we amplify ourselves. And that's the game we've chosen to play, is partially the pay to play model, but then heavy on follow-up, nurturing, weekly emails to consistently stay in touch with people that we have not talked to in years, that when they're ready will raise their hand, and we are their trusted source because we've been in touch with them for years. And number 5, treat your business like a business. Track your KPIs, schedule your time out, time block, and really treat this like a business. If you have to get up in the morning and change clothes, get into your work outfit, go grab a cup of coffee, come back home, and then start your day, do it. Figure out how to get your routine down. The faster you get your routine down, a bad plan is better than no plan, right? Just get a routine down. It will evolve over the years, and you'll just be more successful. Real estate is evolving. If you can make it through this time in the market, I think there's a very good chance. Let's say you're doing 5 or 6 deals in this market this year, right? Your average solid agent, which if you're doing 5 or 6 deals, remember, you're in the top 15% of all agents in the country right now. Okay. That is not a small feat. And you can make it through the next 6 to 12 months. When the market turns, you're going to be up to 20 deals like that. So make it through, and you're going to be coming out the other end, and you're going to be making 200, 250 plus a year just grinding it out through this time.
Well, if you're an agent and watching this and this looks overwhelming, like I'm not going to learn YouTube and AI and try to figure out ChatGPT and paid advertising and everything we just kind of laid out. Uh, I think you're thinking about it wrong. It's an elephant, and you got to eat it one bite at a time. So I think you implement paid advertising if you're not already. That's what I would do right away. Step one, because now you've got leads coming in. And then maybe the next week you throw in your first YouTube video, which you're going to suck at, right? And you dedicate, like every 2 weeks, I'm going to do a YouTube video, and you'll slowly get better at it, right? And then maybe you get, like, if you don't have a branded shirt, like, order, you'll slowly add and get better and better and better. That is how everyone does it. You don't just all of a sudden, no one can just figure all this out and do it right away.
No.
You implement one at a time.
What's the saying? Most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what you can do in a decade.
Yeah.
And 1% a day. I know we've heard it before, and it sounds cheesy and corny and whatever, but 1% better a day, just a little bit better at that weekly email, a little bit better at those calls, a little bit better at your schedule, a little bit better just piece by piece. And if you just show up, that's something I learned in Ninja a while ago, is that like 90% of this business is just showing up. And stuff will happen because of it, right? When I used to work in retail and camera sales, the person who was there the most sold the most just because they were there, not because they were better, but because they were there. So again, if you want to see what we're doing, weekly email in the description below. Get on it. Keep joining us and ask questions, guys. Like we're in the trenches doing this stuff, not trying to give you this 1,000-yard overview of what you should do in your business. No, this is the exact stuff that we're doing. We will show it all to you, right? Just reach out and ask. And until next week, everyone, good luck out there.